Does your college student need an estate plan? Well, they at least need some parts of it. I'll explain coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. So not kidding, true story. I'm in college, junior year, and just, it's a regular night. I think it was a Tuesday night. And I was with some friends. I already got my homework done. I was studious, all that sort of stuff. But I had several friends that went to Michigan State with me, and we were just hanging out. And one of my friends starts having some pain in his abdomen, and we originally sort of ignore it, but I mean, he is like crunched over, like he is in a lot of pain, and that he kind of shrugs it off at first, but it gets more intense, and he looks like he's gonna pass out, and so goes back to his room, and we're watching him, whatever. And he kind of freaks out, and it gets really, really, really intense. He doesn't throw up, he doesn't pass out, but it's super intense. We're thinking, appendicitis, or who knows? Kidney stone. I've had that. I shared that story with you, but this is back in college. I had no idea. And anyway, so it gets so intense. He's like, I need an ambulance. I can't even drive. I need to go to the hospital. I can't drive. Call an ambulance. And so call an ambulance, and I mean the full deal. They rush up, they get him, they put him on one of the carts, they get him in the ambulance, they drive him to the hospital and do all this diagnostic stuff, and turns out he was fine. It was gas. I'm not kidding. Technically, what he said that they said was it was sideways gas. Now, if you've ever struggled with this, then I apologize for laughing. However, guys, this is how nicknames are created. Kids can be mean. No, I'm just kidding. He already had a great nickname, and it was enduring. And so we just, tease it. He teases himself from time to time about this story. But thankfully, he was fine. Why am I telling you this? Because it's hilarious, number one. And number two, his dad, this individual's dad, he was my friend, I think he was 22, I think at this point. His dad's a doctor, had been a doctor for a long time. Now imagine if it was really severe, his appendix ruptured or something like that. And what if he passed out and they needed to do some sort of operation? What if it got even worse where it was, we're not sure of the diagnosis, we've got to, take some steps. Now, Michigan State, where we went to college, just 45 minutes away from where we grew up, this family, my family, and a few of our other friends. And so Dad could have come over, Mom and Dad could have come over and kind of consulted or see what needed to be done. However, they would have had no authority. A doctor would have had no authority over his son because of HIPAA privacy laws. Now, again, that's a funny scenario, but it's real. And unfortunately, we've heard of some really awful incidents. Maybe you've experienced one where someone's away at college and something awful happens. Now, that's where I would enter in the estate plan. Okay, now, does your son or daughter need an entire estate plan if they're in college? Possibly, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the future. But if, for example, a tragic accident occurs where someone is negligent, causes harm, and there's a big settlement and payout to your son or daughter, but maybe they've been deceased, maybe they've passed away because of this tragic incident, then you'd argue they need a will, they need the full gamut, okay? But if you say, yeah, I mean, that could happen, it's very, very unlikely that would happen, I would tell you, you still need medical directives. That college student who's legally an adult, but who you're still caring for in many areas of life, they should have medical directives set up. Let me explain what those are. In this example that I share with my friend, if your son or daughter is age 18 or older and they have a medical emergency, they should have what's called an appointment of healthcare representative, or better known as a healthcare power of attorney, that includes a HIPAA release that grants you authorization to make medical decisions, obtain medical information, and speak on their behalf if they are medically unable to do so. Now, with the HIPAA, or excuse me, with the HIPAA release and with the healthcare power of appointment, the power of attorney, that doesn't come into play unless it's medically determined. A doctor kind of certifies that, yeah, they can't make their own decision. So you couldn't just call up your son or daughter's doctor and say, hey, listen, what they last see you about? You can't snoop on them. That's not allowed, okay? But if medically necessary, if they're not able to make their own decisions, their own medical decisions, then you'd have this power of attorney that gives you authorization to get information, ask questions, make decisions on their behalf if they're not medically able to. This is the nightmare scenario that obviously my friend didn't face, but many others have. And I just can't imagine. I've got young kids myself. I can't imagine sending them off to college. A medical emergency happens, even like something like COVID, having someone have a strong negative response to it, being intubated, right? And the parent carrying so much, and obviously an emotional wreck, but being boxed out, being shut out by the doctors because in not being able to get information or ask questions about their care or even give instructions about their care if needed. Awful, awful scenario. Have your son or daughter get that healthcare power of appointment, an appointment of healthcare representative, a healthcare power of attorney, has several different names, with a HIPAA release. Have them get that in place, giving that authorization to you. Now, is it possible there could be a financial emergency as well that your son or daughter experiences while they're in college? Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And gosh, those are painful lessons. Running up a credit card bill, or, missing payments, or not paying rent, or whatever, even getting some financial trouble with the school or university, the college or university. Well, again, they're an adult. And even though in many cases you're the one paying the bill, or at least the buck stops with you financially, you don't have rights to help or to get information. And so the solution there is, instead of a healthcare power of attorney, this one's called a durable power of attorney, sometimes called a financial power of attorney. And this again grants you, your son or daughter would sign off, granting you the authority, the authorization to get information, financial information, make decisions, act on their behalf when needed. Now, the durable power of attorney there's two different triggers, okay? One is you don't have any authority unless it's proven that they can't act on their own, okay? And there are times when you're married or for family members where you're gonna want this springing power of attorney, that's what it's called, where they can sign off on that document, but you still have no authority until it's medically proven, or through the courts it's proven, yeah, they can't make a financial decision on their own. The other trigger built into these durable power of attorneys, you could have it just immediate. By my signature on this date, they already have permission to do these sorts of things. And to me, I would suggest for your son and daughter, when they're getting this durable financial power of attorney in place, I'd have it be immediate. Because when there's a crisis, to have to go through the courts or go through, get doctors, typically it requires 2 doctors' notes saying, yeah, they can't act on their behalf. The urgency has passed. Like that can be a awful and sometimes costly delay. And so should there be, if there's a great relationship between you and your son or daughter, I mean, you're going to want to talk to them about this, but I would have that be an immediate power of attorney. So I would work with your son or daughter, talk to your certified financial planner, and then get an estate planning attorney involved. And you're not trying to fleece them. You're not trying to, pull a fast one on them. This is something that you could talk to them about, or your CFP could talk to them about, and have them understand these risks and understand, because they're going to need to know this as they actually become an adult in the real world and get married and have kids. They're going to need to know these things. Why not start that education process with you and talking through this necessary, hopefully, this will never happen, but this real risk out there that they can and you can manage by getting a healthcare power of attorney in place with a HIPAA release and a financial or durable power of attorney in place. Work with your CFP on that, ask questions, have them talk to your child, your son or daughter that's in college, then get a competent, qualified estate planning attorney involved. If you don't have a CFP, and if you don't have one that takes a comprehensive approach like that, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online at korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com, you can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.